M0FXB, just going to get the basics of a code plug for the BOXCHIP S900A. So here we are here, and what we've done, we've opened a file by clicking open, and it's called example, and it's come from BOXCHIP. So I'm sure you could, if you email BOXCHIP, I'll put the email address in, you can ask for this. You could do one from blank, but this is going to be easier for you. So first thing, let's just get our DMR ID in there. So see under general settings, just number 1, put in your call sign, so caps M0FXB, and then your DMR number 2341443. That's my DMR number. Okay, so let's go to contacts. Now, contacts are basically the numbers that you need for all the talk groups. They've got a load here. I mean, obviously, there's hundreds and hundreds of talk groups. So how do we name them? Well, the way you name them is, look, if you actually click each one, is when you can right-click and you can rename them. So that's how. So you don't name them here. You name them here. And look, the number of the contact is number 2 here. And then here, if you go down to TG830, the number will be 830. And if you want to add a contact, you just right-click, click Add Group Call, and go to the bottom of the list. See this one that's called D400? That's the one I've just added. Click it, and then the window will come up. And in this, you can now add the, you can create the channel. Let's just get this right. Yeah, that's the channel window. Let's go back up to contacts a minute, because I wanted to add an actual contact. So let's go sorry about this, just add individual call. Now that'll be a direct person. Add a group call. Yeah, I think I did do that right. Let's go down to the bottom. Here it is here. This is the bit I was looking for. I went too far. See, it says group 10 and group 11. So that's adding, we're going to now add a contact. So we'll double click, we'll rename it to the number we want it to be. Let's just say it's 8,000. Yeah, and then we need this number to be the same. Call ID 10, but we want it to be 8,000. The number is more important than the name. And we selected it as group call. Now let's do another one. Let's rename, right click, rename 8001. Yeah, and then look, we've got number 11 here. That's not the right number. We want 8001. So that when we create a channel, we select this if we want this to be the number of the talk group. So basically it's talk group 8000 or 8001. These are randomly created ones, but they've created lots here for you. So that's how to create and add contacts. Now the next thing you've got to do is create and add channels. So go to the chat. See these channels, they've been put into zones. See the 3 little circles here? Here, that is actually a zone. If you want to create a new zone, just right click here and click add zone. Yeah, and the zone will appear here. See the way zone 4 has appeared? We right click again, add zone, and now we've got zone 5. Now they've created zones, and within the zones they've created channels. So let's go to our new zone. So and we'll go do the first channel here, and it's called it D400 here, but we can rename that, and let's call it GB7ZB, for example. Okay, now it's renamed it here. Now don't forget, you don't name it here, you name it here by renaming. Now we can put in the frequencies here of our repeater. So for example 430.00, and then underneath we'll put a shift 430.900. There's the shift. So we've got our shift in. We now need to select the talk group we want it to communicate with. So at the moment it's defaulted at TG1, but let's just choose a different one. Let's choose TG9, and then let's say the color code's number 3 and slot 1. High power, and everything else looks fine. So we've now created that channel in our zone called GB7ZB, and it's a digital channel. Now if you want to add an analog channel, what we could do is we could see this zone 5, we could rename that to analog channels, right? We've moved, so we know that when we're looking in our radio, we go to analog, and then we can go here and we could add an analog channel. See the way that you've got these little triangle shape or diamond shape with lines? That's good, and an A here. That's because it's an analog channel. So we'll double click that, and we'll rename it. We'll right click, we'll rename it, and let's call it GB3ZB. So that's an analog name. So up here now, it's renamed it GB3. All we've got to do now is put in the frequency. So we'll use the same frequency for now, 430. Yeah, and we'll do it here, 439.000. Right, now we're going to choose high power here. La la la. Now we need to put in the CTCSS. Look it up with your repeater keeper. And quite often it's 77. So we'll put that in. CTCSS. Now again 77. So we've now created GB3ZB analog channel. And when you go on your radio, you'll have, I haven't got this radio. You will have an analog channel in the zone that's called analog. And if you go to zone 4, we could call that digital, rename, digital. There you go, digital channels. Now what they've done is they've added a whole zone dedicated to GB7FI. So they've put into it all these different talk groups that they think you'll need when you're using that repeater, and that is a repeater. And if we look to one of their channels, here, already named, look, they've got the correct frequencies in for GB7FI. They've got the right time slot and color codes, and because this channel is talk group 8, they've got, look, talk group 8, and the contact that would have been created for talk group 8 up here, they would have created it. If I double click that, there's the group, and look, call ID 8. That is super important. Not the name, the call ID. It's like a phone number. You need to get this right. And then so you add contacts here by right clicking and adding. You add channels to each zone. So look, channels. So if you want to add a channel, you right click. So go further down. There you are. So don't right click where it says the title. Go to one of the actual channels. So you've got, remember, these little squares are digital channels, and this diamond shape is analog. So you right click and you can add an analog or a digital channel. You decide. Yeah. And so that's how you add channels, and it's put a blank channel here which you can program. So hopefully this gives you the nuts and bolts of it. So you've got to remember, you're creating, firstly I would say create your contact, which is the talk group that you're going to be using within the channel. Then go down and I would create the zone, so you know how to find the group of channels. So right click where you've got this 3 circles, and when you add a zone, and name that zone, and they've named it QTH hotspot, so that's where they're putting all their hotspots. Once you've done that, then you go down underneath the title and you go add a channel, and if it's a digital hotspot, you click digital, and then you would double click the digital section here. You would give the channel a name, so rename. Let's call it hotspot. Call it hotspot 66. They've probably already got that. And then go double click it, and up here you've already named it. You're going to put in the frequency of your hotspot, simplex probably, if it's a jumbo hotspot. Probably, if it's a home, just low power. And then your hotspot, put in what you want it to talk to. So let's just choose a contact. 235, and then, you know, with most hotspots it's time slot 1, color code, let's get it right, time slot 2, color code 1, and that's it. You've created the frequency of your hotspot, and you'll now be able to turn that on your BOXCHIP radio and use your hotspot. So I hope this helps. I haven't got the radio, I'm just learning it for a friend, and then hopefully that will help him to learn as well. There is a process of installing APK and updating all this, but this video is just about using the code plug. I'll do a separate video on how I think you install the APK and update all your items here. So 7.3, hope this helps. All the best.